Alrighty, welcome back to another segment of the 50-50 show. I'm Omair. This is my brother Omar. Next, we're going to be talking about previewing tonight's games. We're first going to be talking about the Cleveland
Clavicle Cavs.
This guy can't let it rest. Anyways, the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Houston to take on the H-Town Rockets. The market has the Cavaliers favored by 1.5. Omar, what do you think about who's gonna win? What are you looking out for? Overall thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, so I think the market is correct. I have the Cavs winning by pretty much the same amount. I have the Rockets as slightly better, but remember the Cavs do have home court advantage.
No, Houston has home court advantage, I believe.
No, I thought the Cavs had it.
I'm almost sure Cavaliers are at Houston.
If that's true, then I have to disagree with the market. Okay, I'll trust you. I'll say that I read it wrong. If Houston has home court advantage, then I have Houston winning this game, and then I'm going to disagree with the market because rating-wise, these teams are pretty similar, and that's only because the Cavs have Evan Mobley out and Max Strus starting, so he's getting a lot of minutes. Fred VanVleet is back. He missed, I think, the last game or 2 games ago. And Cam Whitmore has been improving, by the way. That's a guy who I thought was more hype than substance, but I've really been liking what he's been doing versus teams. He's been getting more and more minutes. He's been quite efficient offensively, not as big of a cone on defense as I thought. So really liking what I'm seeing there. And in this game, I think Amen Thompson and Fred VanVleet are going to be really key versus the Cavs backcourt. And then since Evan Mobley is missing, only Jarrett Allen is there to punish the interior defense that's mediocre on Houston Rockets. So if Houston has home court offense, I definitely don't agree with the market still making the Cavs favored. I would say give me Houston to win by 2 comfortably.
This is a rare time I will agree with you, only because I think the Rockets do have an advantage here with Evan Mobley being out. That is the number one key. If Evan Mobley's in, I don't care if it's in H-Town, I don't care if it's on the moon, I'm taking Cleveland. But with Mobley being out, the Cavs miss out on stretching the floor, shooting, right? Which would really help against a strong defensive team like Houston.
It's good versus Sengun.
Exactly, Sengun as well. Another thing with Mobley being out with that defense, he's a solid defender. So I worry with their ability to keep up with the Rockets defensively. Because another thing we're going to need to talk about is the Thunder came back and they played the Cavs and they whooped that trick. A big thing was the Thunder had a small ball lineup with Hart being out. The Rockets have a similar thing with their lineup. They can go small ball. I think Cavs lack that athleticism, the ability to keep up with the Thunder. Smaller, quicker players, I think Cavs will struggle to keep up. So the defense will really struggle. And with Mobley being out, it's going to only be compounded because he's a good defender. Like, for example, Jarrett Allen, I love his defense, but he's more of a defense. He's a sit in the paint anchor type, not so much running in transition and keeping up with smaller guys. So if it goes down that way, I can easily see H-Town winning. So that's my thing with Evan Mobley being out. And 3, again, I like the Rockets players like D. Brooks, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green. They're all good players. Especially Amen Thompson. He's either guarding Garland or D. Mitch. Whoever he's guarding, expect him to have a rough game.
Amen Thompson, yeah. I thought you were Jamaican. I thought you were Rasta with how you were saying his name. Did you mean to say amen? Amen? Who knows?
I share genetics with this man.
We're going to have to get tickets to a Houston game and ask him how to pronounce his name at this rate.
This man can't win any debates with me. So whenever I make a pronunciation mistake, he's on that. He's like, write that down. He's like, write that down. Omair's made a rare mistake. Rare L. Okay, with him, I never have to do it. I just got to sit back. Sit back and let him talk, and I'm chilling.
It's all about mental warfare, baby.
Yeah, sure. But I agree, Fred VanVleet being back, he's a very underrated player. Someone, he's not someone who dazzles you on the stat sheet. You got to watch him to see what he's doing. So, again, I have the Rockets favored. I'm looking for a small ball lineup that the Cavaliers will struggle with keeping up. I'm looking for Amen Thompson to dominate whoever he's guarding on the defensive end. And then Jalen Green, I think he can have a good game as well. 2 things. First, Cavs don't have great perimeter defense. And 2, with Mobley out, the interior defense is weakened. So that's my outlook on the game and my evaluation.
Alrighty, so that's pretty much all there is for that game. Now let's move over to the Eastern Conference where we have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Detroit Pistons. A pretty relevant matchup I think this is a matchup you could see in the play-ins, and I think this is a matchup that matters for seeding for anywhere between that 7th to 10th seed area. Now, the market has the Hawks favored by 2.5, Omair. Trae Young most likely going to be playing, but Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu are both questionable. So what do you make of this game? Do you have those guys playing? And then in general, who do you have winning this game and why?
I have the Atlanta Hawks winning this game. I think the market's absolutely right. They should be favored. I see them winning. Trae Young is better than Cade Cunningham. I don't care what anyone says. Cade Cunningham, improvement. Love him. I was on him before this guy was. Still like Trae Young better. So that's first option. The first option, I'm taking Trae Young. I'm assuming Onyeka and Jalen Johnson are both playing. I think the market is as well. If they're both out, I don't see how the Hawks would be favored because Jalen Johnson is clearly the second option and Onyeka is a key role player. So I'm pricing them in personally, my evaluation. So we're looking at them. Like I said with Cade, I think Trae Young's better than him. Young's a better passer, better shooter, better driver. The only thing he's not better at is middies, but good thing middies are being priced out of the NBA anyways. But anyways.
Nah, they're elite.
I mean, middies are still important. That was a bit, I was being hyperbolic, but still, better finisher, better three-point shooter, better passer. I'm still taking Trae Young. It's not even close for me. Still love Cade Cunningham, obviously. I'm not a hater. And then a big thing with him, he's a high turnover guard. So if the Atlanta Hawks defense locks in on him, picks off his passes, I mean, the Pistons are going to be in huge amounts of trouble giving up that many points as Cade is prone to do. He's improved his turnover issues, but no doubt he still has those turnover demons. In terms of role players, I'm a really big fan of Dyson Daniels. He had a bunch of steals, I think, the last time they played the Pistons. Just love Dyson Daniels in general. I know you're low on him, but I really like him as a defensive player, and the offensive game is improving. I was watching, it wasn't against the Pistons, but I was watching game. He had the ball on the wing. He got kicked out, I believe, from Trae Young. And he showed that kind of poise that some role players lack, where the guy was coming on a closeout and he didn't have the open three. He hits him with a jab step, makes him back off, then shoots. Very Kawhi Leonard-esque, very fundamental. Not all role players can do it. It seems simple when I'm describing it, but then if all role players could do it, a lot of them would be borderline stars if they kept playing off closeouts and were that effective. So really liking what I'm seeing from Dyson Daniels, that improvement. Obviously a defensive stud. Trae Young is better than Cade Cunningham for the reasons I've listed. And then when you finally factor in home court advantage, you're in Atlanta, you're in the A, as Trae Young would say.
Hey.
I got Atlanta to take this W.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you made some convincing points with that one. You almost had me believe in you, but psych, we're gonna take the Pistons here, boy.
Why?
Listen, I think if Onyeka and Jalen Johnson are both in, then I'm gonna regret my pick a little bit. But I have a feeling one of them will be out. I don't know which one. It doesn't really matter to me. I have them relatively the same importance. So I'll take Pistons to win. In reality, I have the Hawks slightly favored. But again, if you're gonna give me plus money, if you're gonna say it's an upset, I'm gonna take the Pistons here. I got Cade going band for band with Trae. I think they're equal first options. And yeah, you were first to Cade, but you know what it is. It's not about finishing first or anything like that. It's about being right. So I'm just updating.
That explains a lot.
I'm just updating
that
my
viewpoint explains a lot.
Assessment of Cade. And I think he's just good now. He's straight up just good, especially for someone as young as he is. Like Trae Young being older, it's a bit of a disappointment.
Disappointment?
Cade
Eastern
Young,
Conference Final? Had the New York Knicks in a chokehold? He owned MSG. Look at the lease. For MSG, I'll pull it up.
Cool, bro.
Trae Young. Trae Young on the list.
MSG? Is this game being played? No, I didn't think so.
You're just disrespecting.
So
you call him a disappointment.
I got Cade there, and then I'm really low on Dyson Daniels and DeAndre Hunter and Vit Krejci. Dyson Daniels, very, very good on defense, at least the on-ball part of it. Yep. Don't love his off-ball defense. Don't love any of his offense. Don't love his rebounding. Don't love his passing. So if the Pistons win, it should be because those role players were outperformed by the likes of Azar Thompson, Malik Beasley, Isaiah Stewart, just some bench or role players that I'm mentioning that I think are slightly better. And because the players that I like on Atlanta, like Clint Capella, Onyeka, and Bogey, they all get lower minutes. So I'm just not super high on this team. I have Detroit as the better team. I just think it's close because Atlanta does have home court advantage and Magic City is indeed open. I do think one interesting thing about this game is going to be Cade. He is the highest turnover guard in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's statistically true, but I swear to God, he is. Like,
I mean, yes, he was last year.
He had a 10 turnover game, and they still won, which is crazy. But Dyson Daniels, the last time they played, he had 7 stocks, so steals plus blocks. I see no reason why he shouldn't go crazy again. Cade should have a bunch of turnovers. Dyson Daniels should have a bunch of steals. And that was one of the things you mentioned as for why Atlanta should win. But the thing is, Detroit, man, they know how to win even when Cade Cunningham has 10 turnovers. So I feel like they're really ready for that. They're resistant. And you're talking about the midi being extent. I completely disagree. I think Atlanta's really weak versus the midi. I think Cade is probably the best midi shooter in the league right now. I think he's gonna. Nate, who's a better midi shooter? Don't you dare say a fossil like DeMar DeRozan. Name a player. Name a player.
Excuse me. We have lived together for our whole life. And you have the gall to think I would call DeMar DeRozan a good midi shooter. I know who DeMar DeRozan really is.
Okay, then name one. Name one right
Kevin
now. Name one better than
Kevin Durant, D-Book.
D-Book is not a better D-Book is not a better midi shooter. I might give you KD, but that's because KD a freak. KD a freak.
D-Book 45 piece in the playoffs. No free throws. All midi.
Okay.
KD never done that.
Cause he ain't made the playoffs.
Okay, but what's your response?
D-Book not that good for midi.
Yes, he is.
Nah.
He's not a great three-point
shooter.
Okay, you tell me how D-Book is one of the best shooting guards in the league without a three-ball without a great driving game.
D-Book has a three. D-Book has a
solid three. It's a solid three.
Yeah, Cade doesn't have a three at all.
Not phenomenal.
Cade doesn't have a three, and D-Book has KD on the floor with him.
Okay,
Cade has Tobias
KD
Harris.
hates passing.
It's not about hating passing. It's about the gravity of the defense. You get way more space when you're D-Book than when you're Cade. Everyone knows the man can't finish at the rim, and he has no good teammates.
D-Book was a midi assassin before KD ever came.
No, he just had a lot of volume. He in his second and third year did worse than Cade is doing right now. Cade is on a better.
Though. D-Book had real bumps.
No,
Cade got vets. Cade got vets. You got Tobias
D-Book
Harris.
had teammates, bro.
I don't
know.
They were trash.
I think they had the Morris twins back then. Morris twins were aight.
Tobias Harris smokes their pack.
I mean, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear it. So
I just feel like D-Book. You talking about a D-Book from years ago? He ain't like that. After the whole Kardashian thing,
he's even better at middies now.
No, he's not, bro. D-Book is not
in the playoffs without free throws.
CP3 over D-Book. You should have said CP3. Both as a player, and as a midi shooter.
Midi shooter, CP3 in his prime, 100%. I'll take that.
CP3
right now, he's trash at the midi.
He's still good at midi. He's just not shooting many of them.
Bro, when he's forced, when the other team forces his hand.
Hey, yo, pause. What?
Forces his hand, and he has to shoot at midi. He misses now.
No,
he didn't have that killer instinct anymore. Remember that Nuggets game? That back-to-back Nuggets little tournament? Okay, second game on the line. Wemby's not having a great night. It's on CP3. He shoots his patent midi. I'm watching, okay? I watched this guy since I was a kid. I get excited seeing that midi, and he bricks.
Okay, that's one shot, bro. Game 1, he was hitting them of that same
series.
No,
he didn't hit jack. He
had 16 points.
No, yeah, like 4 threes. He leads 3 and D and passing. He don't shoot middies no more.
You're a hater, bro. You're a hater. He was 1-of-1 on middies that game. I'm not a hater, bro.
I'm a CP3 fan. I've been a CP3 fan. Listen, that's why it's so hard to watch his fall from grace.
Listen. Can you stop hating
on
my GOAT who was with Kim K at a time we won't be talking about?
Bro, can't help but mention the Kardashian, bro. We're talking about basketball. You're talking about a different set of balls.
Okay, this man going there.
You gonna finish your point? You gonna finish your point, or are we gonna go to the next one?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish just like my GOAT CP. I got the Pistons.
What you talking about CP, bro? That's crazy.
I got the Pistons. I got the Pistons winning. If both Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu are in, I'm gonna regret this a little bit. But Atlanta's
both hedging his bets.
They haven't really ran their full lineup often. Like one guy is usually out, so I'm gonna bank on them continuing to do that again. And I just like the Pistons upset here. That's it. That's really all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Alrighty.
Let's move on to our final segment, our final preview. The Minnesota Timberwolves will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. The market has Minnesota favored by 2.5. You need to recall Luka Doncic is still out, but Kyrie Irving will be in. Derek Lively is questionable. Omar, what are you looking out for? Who do you think is going to win? What's going on with this game?
Yeah, so I'm disagreeing with the market here. I got this as about a toss-up. I'll take the Mavs to upset here. And and I look at Derek Lively. He's questionable. If he's in, then I'm really confident. That I have the Mavs just straight up favored at that point. But with him being questionable, it's sort of a middle ground where it's like if he's out, I got him losing by 2. If he's in, I got him winning by 2. And since it's roughly a 50-50, I meet in the middle. I have it as a toss-up. But again, I'll take the Mavs side. And I think he will play. I think this is an important game for them. I think they want this matchup. They like this matchup. And they know this is an important matchup for seeding purposes. And so I think if he can play, he'll try to play. And just some matchup-specific stuff here. I'm looking a lot at Maxi Kleber. Jason Kidd uses him a lot versus Minnesota, and he does not use Gafford. So Gafford, definitely low on him. Just don't think he'll get a lot of minutes. And Jason Kidd has done this in 2022 in the quarterfinals, and then he did this last year in the conference finals. He gives Kleber heavy minutes as a stretch 5 to get Gobert away from the rim because the Minnesota defense is really good versus traditional centers. They're pretty much top 10 this season versus traditional centers.
They're trash against Derek Lively, though. When Luka's playing.
In most categories.
When Luka's playing.
They're top 10 in putbacks, post up, pick and roll man, and the rim. So in all those aspects of scoring, Minnesota is top 10 in stopping them in one way or another. So Rudy Gobert has been anchoring that defense. He's doing a great job. If you give Gafford heavy minutes, you allow Gobert to be the best player on the court, arguably, and really dominate and help Minnesota get the win. But if you get Kleber, Rudy's away from the rim, then it's like always getting played off the court, and then people will come in with all these narratives about how Gobert's bad. It's just not a good matchup.
He's not very good.
He's not good in the stretch 5s, but there's only a couple of stretch 5s out there in the league. Most of the guys out there, he'll crush. Like he's good versus Sabonis. He's good versus John Collins. He's good versus AD. But
he's useless against Derek Lively.
He's not useless versus Derek Lively.
DPOI.
Derek Lively caught one lob, and you're still glazing him.
Not one lob. He dominated the whole series.
Well, Derek Lively is really good. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
I mean, all because Luka Doncic was toying with him.
It has nothing to do with Luka
It had
Doncic.
everything to do with.
It has nothing to do with Luka Doncic.
Let me address this right now.
No.
So Derek Lively being in, it won't really matter because he's still Gobert. I'll talk about this right now. Can I just go?
No. I wanted to get one thing off. I think Conley got a clutch up with Dante DiVincenzo gone indefinitely. Conley's back in the starting lineup. I still think he's a great player, but Minnesota needs more offense from him. Ant is not able to put up the shots and hit them like he was earlier.
He can hit shots. You need someone to handle the ball, handling the passing.
Here's the most important thing. Kyrie is the best player in this game. Kyrie is criminally
better than Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards cannot wash Kyrie Irving's weird underwear. Okay, I haven't seen it, but I've seen how you've been dressing, them earrings. He's trying to be a little eccentric right now.
Bro, talking about a man's earrings.
I'm just saying. Anthony Edwards cannot wash that man's laundry. Kyrie Irving smokes him. Kyrie Irving is the best player in this game, and he's being disrespected, and people keep assuming this team needs Luka. They don't need Luka. They're going to beat Minnesota without Luka, and people are just going to blame Minnesota and talk about dumb regression stuff again, rather than recognizing that Kyrie Irving is a beast. He just beat OKC without Shea, but they still had Jalen Williams in them. And now he's going to beat Minnesota with their entire starting lineup. And don't be telling me Dante DiVincenzo being out is the reason they won. Because Kyrie is just that. He's just that dude.
All right, let me get into this. I can't stop myself. There's only so much I can listen to before. The allergies start kicking in, as you guys know. So I have Minnesota winning. So first of all, let's get into it. The Mavericks, without Luka Doncic, they are nothing. They are just... They're nothing better.
Is that why they're like the 4th seed, even though Luka hasn't played in 2 months?
Not 2 months.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute. I respect what Kyrie's done, but still, the team is not dangerous without Luka. So let's look at it.
For sure
First of all, I think you're right. I think I'm not the biggest Gobert fan. I think Gobert is actually have a good game. He's gonna have a good game because Luka's not playing.
No, I disagree. He's gonna have a bad game.
Luka had that man. Okay, whatever.
Well, because of Kleber. They're gonna run Kleber to make him have a bad game.
I still won't matter because that is not what caused it. It's Luka Doncic absolutely putting this man in the torture chamber every time he spams the pick and roll. Without Luka, that's just not going to be happening. When you look at what was happening in that playoff series, Luka Doncic consistently beating his man. Gobert being a very vertical athlete, has to try to contain Doncic. He fails miserably. Lobs were being thrown. Derek Lively is putting his nuts in the Frenchman's face. That will not be happening tonight because Luka's not playing. Even if Derek Lively's playing, there's 2 parts to this equation. If you're missing Luka, it's not happening.
Kyrie Irving can set up Lively, no problem.
No, it's not the same.
You're right. It's better.
No.
It's better. You know why? Because my guy doesn't need free throws to be a decent
Kyrie
offensive player.
can't get free throws, so that's a moot point.
He's too pure of a hooper.
That's a moot point.
He dodges all the flailing around from the defender.
Well, so that's a moot
Unlike
point.
your boy who goes...
That's a moot point. So then we talk about what Minnesota needs to win. First of all, Anthony Edwards obviously better than Kyrie Irving. If you're thinking like this guy, first, get checked. And 2, let me know why in the comments. Maybe you can give this guy some good material.
You get checked for an STD from all that riding, bro.
Hey, yo.
I'm just saying. I'm keeping it real.
Why? ¿Por qué?
You tell me why you so attracted to him.
Bro, I swear I cannot talk ball while this guy talking about another set of balls.
Bro.
So, I'm going to get back on topic. Anthony Edwards, just great player, great three-point shooter. I think his driving will struggle, I will say. One thing with Lively is in, the Mavericks defense is very solid, rock solid, especially in the interior. So Anthony Edwards will struggle with driving, especially as we know his struggles with double teams. I don't think that's going to change. But still, looking for a good three-point shooting night from him. He's going to need it if he's going to have impact on the game. Still think he's better than Kyrie, obviously. I do agree Conley needs to step up, especially with DDV out, because the TWolves was starting to improve with DDV as point guard. He was getting a good amount of assists. Conley back in, he's going to have to lock in. I know you talked about the start of the season, minutes restrictions, and I was saving himself for the playoffs. Bro needs to chill out and lock in for this game. But I think he can do it because we don't need scoring from him per se. We need passing, all right?
I think you need
to handle the ball and pass and find open guys, find and set him up. That's kind of the stuff we're looking for. We still haven't mentioned Randall. He's a bit of an X factor where I think he's the second option. You probably have him as a third option because you think Gobert's so good because you're crazy.
You have Randall over Gobert. Oh, my God.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Anthony Edwards, Randall, Gobert. Because if Randall not having a good game, they're not going to win. They're not enough offense. I love Gobert's defense, but he's one-sided. You know how I talk about I love two-way players? Same thing goes with defensive guys. I love that your defense is good, but you can't play offense, you're useless. Look at Jarrett Vanderbilt. He has great defense. He can't shoot.
No, see, here's where I disagree, because if you're great on defense, you're great on defense. And then you can just not put up a bunch of shots. If you're good on offense, but you're a cone on defense, you don't get to hide.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
NBA offenses have an array of ways to hide their worst defenders.
No, NBA offenses have an array of ways of attacking the weakest. You just keep running pick and rolls until you get that man on the blender, and then it's just chicken tendies.
But yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, that's true. But what I'm saying is absolutely true. It's basically an arms race between offense and defense. Defenses get better and better at hiding the worst defenders, and offenses get better at exposing them. So at the end of the day, it comes down to a little bit of a coaching match, a little bit of the players and their ability to navigate these plays. So.
Man, Minnesota ain't doing nothing that. They just put Rudy Gobert out there and be like, hey, can you just run the whole defense for us? And he's like, I got you.
That was so bad.
Hey,
bro.
I punted that.
Bro,
accent.
you're struggling. You're struggling. I don't know. I think we should close the segment and bring the show to an end after that absolute flub. But anyways,
after you called Julius Randle the second best player on the team, I agree. Major flop.
I stand on that. Julius Randle is the second best player on Minnesota.
He's not even better than Mike Conley. He's not even better than Mike Conley. He's the fourth best player on this team. And some days it might be Naz Reid. It might be Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I'm going to bring us back on topic because this guy's talking crazy. Again, I have Minnesota winning here. It was really going to rely on a good shooting night from Anthony Edwards, good defensive play from Rudy Gobert, and ultimately Julius Randle being the X factor that he is. I think he can make an impact on the game. And then lastly, Conley has to be playing better than how he's playing at the beginning of the season. He cannot play like a bench point guard if this team has any hope of winning.
Yeah, it sounded like Dallas is about to smoke y'all's pack. So we appreciate you giving all that analysis.
I mean, I love Dallas. I'm a Dallas fan, but for this game, without Luka, Mavs take this one.
We about to crush that ant. If you know, you know. Anyways, man, that was a pleasure recording the show. Tough start to the day. Tired, but you know we had to talk about the NBA. You know we had to preview today's games, talk about yesterday's. I had fun. We'll be back again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. East Coast Time, with another episode of the 50-50 Show. My name's Omar. This is Omair. Hope y'all had fun. I know I did. Anything to say, my boy?
I had tons of fun. I agree. It was a hard start to the morning, but it ended very well. I mean, it's always great to catch a couple dubs in a debate, beating your big brother. For all you little brothers out there, this is for you. Cleveland, little bro, this is for you. Another day, another dub. Okay? Bring the stream to a close. Thank you all.
Man.